Hello, very good afternoon, sir. How are you doing today?
Very good afternoon to you. I'm very good. What about you?
Yes, I'm fit as fiddle and doing great in my life. Thank you for your concern.
Yes, exactly right. Please, maybe our it's a first session. Okay, both of we can introduce ourselves. Okay, first of all, you can introduce yourself.
Okay, fine. Let me introduce myself. Then, my name is Shiv. I born and raised in Uttarakhand. My job profession is I'm a government employee. I'm working as a clerk, and by academic qualification, I have done my master in English, master in commerce, and this year I'm pursuing a master in economics. In addition to this, I do teach English to beginners and intimate speakers through different online applications as an unofficial English trainer. And I run my own YouTube channel by the name of English with Teacher Shiv, where I upload spoken English content at the same time one-to-one conversational videos. That's all from my side. Now you can introduce yourself.
Okay, that is amazing and nice introduction. Okay, my name is
Thank you.
Ratan Burman. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm a nursing student, final year. If I like to say my hobby is learning also English, reading book and traveling, also listening music. That's it all about myself.
Okay, that's really great. And as you said, like you have the hobby of reading books, right? So which kind of books do you read generally?
Okay, generally I have passionate to psychological books and also non-fiction like self-improvement. Okay, every people they have to try to self improvement because of we have lot of lackings. And when you self motivate read book, that time we feel motivated. And right now we have to need to something improve myself. If I like to say English spoken, and also sometimes people they are for their health, physical and mental health to improvement, they will go gym and regularly go to playground to play when they play noon time. It's also build up their physical and also mental stress relief. That's why I'm also such kind of activities when I get time. That's it all about. And if you have any interesting book in your life you read.
For me, I can say I have read recently one book that is called Power of Subconscious Mind. And these days I'm reading that book, and that book is really amazing, right? And again, so what do you think? How reading can help you to improve your spoken English?
Yes, we know that in English, four part is speaking, reading, listening, and also writing. When we are reading that time day by day, first time it's not will be help, but if I compare to first day to 30 day, when I smoothly day by day continue, it will be definitely help me. Because it's one of the part of if I like to say one kind of exam, IELTS exam, there are four testing, reading, writing, and it will be help. That's why I also provide. But right now I'm not reading, just I'm focused now speaking and also listening. But in future when I get a lot of time, that time I will be start writing and also reading. It's also important because just uh, two is not good. Just if we want to fulfill a learn language, four is definitely need.
True, true. I feel the same thing because what I feel by reading, you can improve so many things. If you read aloud, which means out of your mouth, so somewhere you are going to train your mouth muscles, your vocal cord to pronounce some certain sounds, right? So in this way, you can improve your pronunciation. And secondly, the book which you are reading, you can enhance knowledge about that particular content which you are reading. So whenever it comes to you have to speak about the content, or if someone is asking any question to you related to the topic in which you are reading in that book, so you will be more than comfortable to answer those questions because you have already read about it somewhere in the book, right? The
And
third
also
thing is that, hmm,
yes, you can
go
also
ahead.
finish. Then I will start. Third things you mentioned maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what I was saying, third thing is that When you read book, so somewhere you can align your thoughts with that writer or the author's thought who has written that book, right? So you can give depth to your thoughts as well, because the way he thinks, somewhere you can resonate your thought process with his thought process. A fourth one is there are some words that you are not acquainted with. You haven't read, you haven't studied, you haven't heard before those words. Those words are completely new for you. And from reading part, you can improve your vocabulary. The last but not least, when you start reading books, so somewhere you can understand their sentence formation, means because they don't even make a single mistake there in writing part, because plenty of times that book has been edited by many editors, right? So you will not find any single mistake over there, and that's how you can improve your grammar, your sentence formation, and the same sentence formation you can use for your spoken part. So yeah, these are some advantages I feel that you can get from reading. And there is one quotation, let me quote out here. I have read somewhere, the one who is a good reader today can become a good speaker tomorrow, for sure. And without books, without books, your life is empty, because book is something, your friends may leave you, your relatives may leave you alone somewhere, but books or the knowledge which you have accumulated from those books will never leave you alone. So that's what I would say.
Yes, definitely right. I'm also agree with you. And before you mention, when I started talking, I also mentioned vocab. Okay, when you speaking that time, vocab is most important. Without vocab, we cannot continue speaking. And when you also reading, that time also, uh, where our reading skill is day by day build up, and our thought process. You also already mentioned that's really great. And did you start your this skill, reading skill? Did you start?
Well, frankly speaking, I am a guy who is not even that interested in reading and all. I feel a bit sluggish about reading, because as soon as I start opening book, I feel sleepy like this, frankly speaking. I don't know why it happens with me, but yeah, this is something I have a problem. But again, since I understood the imperativeness of reading book, from that point only I force myself to indulge myself into reading. So it's been around 1.5 months I started reading, and I have just completed one book that was a power of not power of, like, that was the, yes, power of positivity, right? And that book was really great. And then after completing that book, I started reading this book, like Power of Subconscious Mind. So these books gives you a kind of depth, profoundness. You can actually glorify your personality. You can explore your mindset. The content which this book has written by the author will definitely gonna blow your mind, right? And somewhere I feel when you start reading, you can inculcate a level of patience as well. So when you speak, you don't need to hustle and bustle all the time, right? We should not run like a rat race. No, that doesn't make any sense. We need to control our pace. We need to keep patience when we are talking to someone, because the more we will be calm and composed during conversation, the better we can manifest our ideas in a very effective and amazing way. So reading is something which definitely going to help you to align your thoughts on track, where you can just organize your content, the stuff which you have in your brain, and you can use those content and you can incorporate those content in a right direction at a right place and a right time. That's what I feel.
Exactly right. And my last question, if I'd like to say, how do you manage that? Before you mentioned that when you introduce yourself, you are a government employer, and also you are teaching unofficially, you are tutor, and also you are maintain your YouTube channel. How do you manage everything as a short time, as a single? We know that well, like government employer, they have lot of work and they are feel not get time to a specific. But how do you manage everything? I think hopefully you are passionate. First of all, you have passion. That's why it's possible. But how do you manage your time? Please share.
Because I have read the book Time Management.
That is
I have
important.
read that book as well, Time Management, that how one can manage his time in very systematic and chronological way. Why? Because that book has taught me time is something that nobody has in this era. Nobody has time, right? We don't have time to talk our parents. We don't have time to talk to our friends, but we do have time for scrolling reels on YouTube, right? But that book, the book which I've read, taught me you should not waste your time in any useless stuff which is not going to add value in your life. Rather, invest your time. Don't spend your time, invest your time somewhere from where you are going to get some benefit. That something can glorify your life, it will shine your life, right? If you want to see some sparking color in your personality, if you want to just increase your attributes, your qualities, you want to add some skills, you have to read how to manage time. And not only reading, after reading that how you have to manage your time, you have to follow the same steps on ground, because knowing something is not that important as important implementation on ground, right? So I must
Yes.
suggest you to read that book, Time Management, right? Because once you will read that book, that how one can manage his time, you can also manage time as I am managing these days.
Okay, I will try after reading this book. I will give you feedback.
Sure, sure, sure. And frankly speaking, in initial days, definitely, not only you, not only me, but also every single person feel difficulties to make a habit of reading. But again, if you will understand the importance of reading in a life, then only you can make sense. Then only you would start reading. I understood. That's why I started, right? First, you can go for only 4 and 6 paragraph for reading, only 4 or 6 paragraph. You don't need to read complete book in one day. That's not possible for anyone. But again, you have to read only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 paragraphs maximum. Then after that, a complete page. After 3 days, then 1.5 page. Then after 1 week, two pages. And after that, you would see that you yourself will take interest into reading. You will enjoy the process of reading, because reading will give you a, a very good mindset, a clarity like what you have to do. And most of the time, people read in a very passive way. Passive reading will not give you anything, because when you are reading for the sake of reading, no, like a machine learned. No, no. When you are reading, you have to consider yourself the same character about which you are reading in that book, right? And you have to align your thoughts, the thoughts that you are reading in the book. So you have to use your emotions, your feelings when you're reading. You have to feel the content. And when you start doing that, then you will enjoy the process of reading. And I will say for academics, keep pencil in your hand or highlighter. And if you find something interesting that you want to add in your life or you want to add in your spoken part, underline that part and write it down somewhere in notebook. And then after reading, after completing reading part, then just see what exactly you have gotten from there, from that reading part. Then only reading will give you a benefit which you are expecting from that. Otherwise, there
Yes.
is no benefit to complete so many books.
Yes, exactly right. It's most important to note down and also underline and also highlight when you start any book reading. That time we'll get, it's not possible to all our book summary in our mind. Okay. And before you mention that, when you note down, like as I say, a single book almost 100 page or 150 page, when you summarize two line day by day, almost 50 line or 50 quotation we get, it will be help because of next time we have nothing need to again start again read the book. Just we open our notepad and read it. That is enough. And day by day we are used to an improvement.
Yeah, because I feel reading works like input. Input means when you read, you will gain knowledge and you're feeding your brain with that
Yes.
information which you are reading. So, whenever that information is required, you can quickly speak, right? You don't need to put any extra effort for that. Because spoken English itself is all about consumption and production, input and output. Whatever you will consume, the more you will feed your brain with English, the more you can speak English, the more English will come out from your mouth. So you need to understand this theory, right? And this psychology works in a very effective way. That's what I feel personally, because I could see a massive improvement in my spoken English just because of that reading part. So one must has to indulge himself into reading and all, because that's how he is going to enhance his knowledge tremendously, right? So here I'm
Yes.
done with my points. If you have any other question, you can ask. Otherwise, we can wrap up the session.
Okay. Right now, if someone want to start English speaking, a grammar part is important to maintain. What's your opinion?
Well, it depends. It depends. It depends why that guy is learning English, why he wants to learn English. According to the purpose, he has to indulge himself into grammar. For example, the one who wants to become a teacher, writer, author, or who is preparing himself for any written examination, there he has to have the knowledge of grammar. He has to gain deep knowledge of grammar because he has to teach someone else. And no student will accept if a teacher is making some silly and major mistakes in grammar, right? So first thing.
Yes.
Now, second thing, because that's all about written English. If you're more into writing and all, grammar is must. Because in written English, there is no chance and there's no space where you can make any single mistake. It is something which is not accepted, right? Okay, when it comes to spoken English, when someone is learning English for the sake of communication, he wants to talk with people abroad from abroad, and he wants to crack any interview, and he wants to become a motivational speaker and public speaker, then grammar is not that important as important the expression he wants to manifest. Which means if he is making sense and he is understandable to people, then no matter how many mistakes he is making, that's fine. In initial stage, mistakes are accepted. Once he would reach on that level where he feel confident about his spoken part, he's not feeling hesitation and shyness, then after he can go for grammar, but not in the beginning. Okay. Now, second thing is that what happened, grammar is something which is bone, and I would say blood or root of English, that cannot be neglected. But again, how much grammar is required, it all depends on your purpose. So first, start from basic grammar, fundamental rules, for example, tenses, prepositions, then articles and modals. And after a period of time, you can just learn some advanced rules as well. Right. And if you are a beginner and intermediate speaker, you must avoid grammar, I must say. First, just develop the level of confidence and flow where you feel comfortable to have conversation in English. And then after you can focus about your accuracy. So I would say it all depend on the purpose the person is learning English.
That is great answer for my
Yeah,
audience.
thank you. So
Yeah.
I think we have done with this conversation and we have asked all the questions, whatever we wanted to ask to each other. So thank you for connecting with me and giving your precious time. It was really lovely talking to you. And hopefully we'll talk again in the future. So till that
Thank you.
time, keep shining and keep learning. Bye bye. Take care.
Take care.